Okay, it is Wednesday, August 7th, and I want to start out with this short note. Just, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes ago, I finished watching this. Vance is at a rally in Detroit. If you want to see why they, on the Republican side of this agenda, picked Vance, go listen to this. And I do not shit you. I caught the whole thing at the end. They said he spoke roughly for 45 minutes. Go listen for 5 minutes. This you will see why they picked this dude. He is an awesome politician, and yes, I do mean politician. Go listen to this dude when he is asked questions by the reporters and the way he answers. It's instant, and this. Oh shit, my screen's timed out. It is fucking instant. This dude is an incredible politician, and I do mean go watch this just for 5 minutes, and it's just astounding the way this dude raps out his fucking answers, whether you give a shit or believe what he says or not. Okay, now I want to show the clip from Richie from Boston. Richie from Boston, sometime maybe at the end of the first year of COVID got going, he kept saying that he called out the COVID agenda, the COVID pandemic, and that he predicted or called it out. Let's go and say what he called it out. And Richie, I saw at least 3 times where he posted the video where he said he called out COVID, which was, I'll show it here, somewhere over an hour long. I didn't want to watch the whole fucking thing to see where he supposedly did this. So I saw somebody else's video on BitChute where he reposted it. So I left a comment saying, okay, timestamp it. There was a misunderstanding on my part, but he eventually, it's at the, let me just show this. We'll see what Richie has to say, and I'll point out what he actually had to say. So let's pause here. And then I want to show 2 big things, and I'll try to remember to timestamp it in my description if you want to skip the Richie from Boston shit. But I just have to show this and then point out 2 huge fucking things. And as I said before, the totally fucking religious agenda behind Project 2025, which now Trump is pretending he wants to distance himself from, even though a lot of these authors and not investors, people behind the Project 2025 thing, you have to download the PDF. You have to go read this shit. It's fucking astounding if Trump gets in office. I mean, either way, we're fucking hosed, but let me pause here. Okay, first off, here's the video. It was posted by another channel. Richie from Boston predicting the outbreak, the most highly. Oh, of course, it's a religious channel, but okay, let me pause here. Okay, now here we go. Let's see what old Richie has to say about predicting the COVID. Oops.
That way. So that one thing you just said about getting rid of one of the best ways to get rid of the money is because everybody touches it and there's a germ. We were talking about the Bill Gates funding MIT and Bill Gates backing him, of course, because Bill...
Get rid of the money because it's a germ.
Bill loves people. He's always trying to help people out, whether he's poking your children with a needle or spraying things in front of the sun so you don't get that pesky sunburn. Bill loves people. They have the invisible ink tattoo that can be read remotely so they can tell if you've gotten your vaccines. Why would they need that unless there was a pandemic?
Okay, why would they need the invisible ink tattoo showing you got a vaccination unless?
It's the next step. And that ties right into what you just said. That'll do just like they always do. It'll be multifaceted. They need to have people out. Whether we were talking. So.
I'm gonna let me play this through. Then I'll talk.
That one thing you just said about getting rid of one of the best ways to get rid of the money is because everybody touches it and there's a germ. We were talking about the Bill Gates funding MIT and Bill Gates backing him, of course, because Bill loves people. He's always trying to help people out, whether he's poking your children with a needle or spraying things in front of the sun so you don't get that pesky sunburn. Bill loves people. They have the the invisible ink tattoo that can be read remotely so they can tell if you've gotten your vaccines. Why would they need that unless there was a pandemic? That's the next step. And that ties right into what you just said. That'll do just like they always do. It'll be multifaceted, force everyone, or actually make everybody want a vaccine because nobody wants to get sick, and then get rid of the money. And of course there'll be incentives. Maybe you get lower taxes. Already when I pay my phone bill, they charge me $1 convenience tax because I pay with cash. Yeah. It's a convenience tax. Hey, you just paid this bill exactly what you do with cash. Awesome. That was convenient. Give us another $1.
I have to throw this in right now. But obviously saw when COVID came out, there was nothing about a convenience tax if you get the fucking tattoo to say you had a vax. Fucking bullshit.
Yeah, we'll administer it ourselves. I mean, the group mentality, the herd mind, the hive mind will help administer and lead people to it. Just on the fact of the ridicule factor, and you have to fit the group mind. You have to fit in the hive mind. So all those things work together. Nicholson.
Yeah, I mean that.
And again, I've said over the years, whether you're Republican, Democrat, alt media, YouTube truther, whatever, we're all in a hive mind. We all believe the hype. Well, excuse me, not all of us believe, but these channels put out their agenda, left, right, and you're so-called awaken to the truth.
It's slowly. I mean, people. Think about this back in.
Oh, anyway, that's it. You could go listen to that. I had to take notes here. So Richie says one of the best ways to get rid of the money is because everybody touches it and there's a germ. They did nothing to get rid of the money. They did do that change shortage, which, as I addressed before when this happened, might have been and possibly was legit because of all the businesses that closed down, which affected like the Denver Mint when I was living in Denver at the time. You know, less workers going to work so they couldn't produce. Who knows? Anyway, they were all swearing to God during that we were about to go cashless. MIT and Bill Gates have the invisible ink tattoo that can be read remotely to see if you get your vax, which I was just talking about, and he did. So why would they need that unless there was a pandemic? That's the next step. Okay, Richie was not predicting a pandemic. He was predicting a pandemic to get rid of the cash, which did not happen. Look, at that dude's video, there was a misunderstanding on my part because I didn't click show more on his comments. But anyway, so I finally went to the 31-minute mark, and this was all about people thinking that they were doing this to go cashless. Richie did not predict a pandemic. And I told this guy in the comment, and this is fact. This is not me making it up to make Richie look bad or to cover myself to look good. This is a fact. How many years on BitChute, especially YouTube, have we been hearing all these fucking people preach from the highest rooftops? Let's start with the pandemic. They're going to do a pandemic to issue in the greater agenda and the takeover of the New World Order. They're going to do FEMA camps. They're going to do gun confiscation. They're going to do civil war. How many times have we heard that he's re-upping the civil war thing now before the election or some shit? I don't remember in my last couple of videos. To do gun confiscation, civil war. We're going to get EMP'd. There's going to be an invasion. These terrorist cell groups in the U.S. are going to do this and do that. And over and over and over for fucking, I don't know how many, the roughly 6 years since I started listening to these fucktards, but let's move on. Next step, force/make everybody want to get a vaccination so they can get those tattoos, those invisible ink tattoos that started Richie's comment on this. And the invisible ink tattoos never came up that I remember during COVID. What they did do was, and the feds didn't actually push it, but was the vaccination cards, which is, I don't know if that was part of the agenda, more or less, more than likely it probably was, but the vaccination cards were not pushed by the New World Order government agenda whatsoever. Want the vac, get rid of money. Get rid of the money. Obviously, hasn't happened whatsoever. Though they claimed we had a change shortage. Incentives to go cashless. Where did we see that whatsoever? No fucking word. Just bullshit. But just years and years. Oh, did I have something on the back here? Hang on. I had to write this down because he said so much. Oh, same thing. Civil War, camps, gun. None of that fucking shit's ever gonna happen. When the world, or specifically our country, the United States of America, does start truly falling apart, will be because of the geoengineering, the chemtrailing, the devastation, the fucking annihilating, the dying of this planet. That's the truth. That's the fact. If you open your eyes and see what's going on, I mean, it's fucking insane how bad this planet is dying. They talk about it all the time while not talking about it. It's like they admit the geoengineering while denying the geoengineering. Again, I've got that. Let me pause here. I got to show this again. You could go here to come on, focus. NASA's site. They call it sounding rock. They call it sounding rockets. NASA and vapor trails. But they claim their vapor trails are used to measure atmospheric winds. They carry small amounts of gas into space released along a portion of the rocket trajectory. If you scroll down through it, what are vapor tracer payloads? Okay, they carry small amounts of gas into space, gas in a canister. Okay, just write me down. Okay, I'm going to show this. What vapors? They're saying this is a vapor. The tracers that are most often used include barium, lithium, and trimethyl aluminum, which is an aluminum. That's not a fucking vapor. It's just fucking insane. That shit's right out there. Okay, let's move on to Project 2025. Two things I want to highlight. And it's all Christian, moral, the shit they want to pull off. Pause here. Okay, first off, they have these pillars, and pillar 4, the playbook we are forming, agency teams and drafting transitional plans to move out upon the president's utterance of "So help me God." There you go. That speaks a lot right there, but let me pause here. Now, there's a whole bunch of stuff in this. There's two different things, forms or whatever in there. It's 922 pages. It's a fucking astoundingly long, but it even appoints people in a whole bunch of positions in the government by name. Now, they put a whole bunch of good stuff in there to fuck people over and brain fart you. Critical race theory and gender ideology should be exercised from the circular. I get it. I understand. I get it. And the middle paragraph, allowing parents or physicians to reassign the sex of a child, minor's child. Yes, completely agree. Oh, they hook you with this pro-family stuff, which is good and bad. But I'll explain that hopefully. Matter of fact, let me do that now. Hopefully I got the screenshot. They want to say they want to pull things away from the government and to the family. But what that means is, if you're going to take the decisions away from the government to just the family, then taking that one thing they said there, then if mom and dad okays it, the government has to stay out of it. Then you can take your minor child, 10 years old to 17, let's say 18 is legal, 10 years old to 17 years old. You could do that sex change if you want to. You can give them hormones they want to. You can beat your child if you want to because your religion says it's okay. Because your family says, I mean beating. I don't mean spanking or taking a belt to your child if they need that whooping on the ass. But we all know how this shit works out. But go read through this. It is fucking all religious bullshit. And we cannot go religious. We're going to have heads chopped off, arms chopped off, fingers chopped off for shoplifting, etc. And they want to ban abortion. Right there. Finally, conservatives should gratefully celebrate the greatest pro-family win again, overturning Roe v. Wade. Mockery of our Constitution. Well, that's freedom of life, liberty, pursuit of happiness, isn't it? Oh, of course not. Including the next conservatives should push as hard as possible to protect the unborn in every jurisdiction in America. So you do not get a fucking abortion whatsoever. And as I've said before, how many children's lives have been saved by abortion because they would have been tortured, abused, raped, murdered, fucking just abused by their mom and dad who couldn't afford a children, were mentally able. I know, you get this fucking horseshit. Well, if you can't afford a child, if you're not mentally able to, whatever, then you shouldn't have a kid. It's happened. It's going to happen. You're not going to fucking stop it. It's happened since the fucking first people on this planet were brought here, and they were not fucking Adam and Eve, and it was not evolution. I need to get that again. I did that some years ago, but let's pause here. Okay, now be careful with the wording here. Promise to dismantle the administrative state and return self-governance to the American people. Man, that's fucking beautiful. Of course, the surest way to put the federal government back to work for the people is to reduce its size and scope. How about that middle paragraph there, the bottom one? Like restoring popular sovereignty. What the fuck? That takes sovereign citizen to the state level or county level, whatever. And that says the states can never do whatever the fuck they want to. Your city can never. I mean, it's the same thing. It's just repeated on a smaller scale. It's not the federal government. It's your state or your city, and they can still dictate what you do. And go read through this fucking thing. It's all about religion and their moral shit. Look at the wording behind this. When the founder spoke of, I want to skip down. The pursuit of the good life is found primarily in family, marriage, children, Thanksgiving dinners, and the like. Many find happiness through their work. Think of the dedicated teachers or healthcare professionals, entrepreneurs or plumbers throwing themselves into their business. Anyone who sees a job well done and personal reward. Religious devotion and spirituality are the greatest sources of happiness. So there you go. Your greatest resource, your greatest source is religion. And of course, shortly before that, make sure you work your 40 to 80 to 120 hours a week to keep in line and toe the line and live and die in LA with your 2.5 children. Look at this. Ultimately, the left does not believe that all men are created equal. They think they are special. They certainly do not think that people have an unalienable right to pursue the good life. They think only they themselves have such a right, along with a moral responsibility to make decisions for everyone else. So on the other end, they want that Christian morality. They want the Christian morals in there to guide and your life in this country. Period. Pause here. Okay, here is a very, very biggie. This is now. Listen to what they are saying here. I don't know what the fuck DEI is. Gender equality, gender equity, gender awareness, gender sensitive, abortion, reproductive health, reproductive rights, and any other term used to deprive Americans of their First Amendment rights out of every federal rule. And any other term used to deprive Americans of their First Amendment rights out of every federal rule, agency regulation, contract regulation, and piece of regulation that exists. Now, be careful and watch and pay attention to what they're saying here, because they're doing reverse psychology here. I get it, and like I've said ever since this horse shit got going, leave fucking kids out of it. Leave your job out of it. If you're a woman, you want to get a sex change or dress like a woman, it should not fucking matter. And vice versa, a woman want to be a man, of course, you got to go, whatever restroom you use has to be whatever sex you were born with, and blah. Anyway, this is confliction, confusion, keep us divided, distracted. But this is the moral police completely against if you want to be bi, gay, lesbian, non-binary, whatever. That's your personal choice in your life, but not your job. Okay, let's see what they say about pornography. I got to read this. Pornography manifested today in the omnipresent propagation of transgender ideology and sexualization of children. That's not what all of pornography is about. Is it there? Are they getting rid of it? Yes, thankfully. Thank God for you fucking Christian police out there. Them people should be in prison forever, especially fucking with children. For instance, it is not a political Gordian knot. I should have looked up Gordian knot. inextricably binding up desperate claims about free speech, property rights, sexual liberation, and child welfare. It has no claim to First Amendment protection. Its purveyors are child predators and misogynistic exploiters of women. Their product is as addictive as any illicit drug and as psychologically destructive as any crime. Pornography should be outlawed. The people who produce and distribute it should be imprisoned. Educators and public librarians who pay for it should be classed as, hopefully I finished that screenshot. Pause here. Oh, thankfully I did. Should be imprisoned. Educators should be classified as registered sex offenders, and telecommunications and technology firms that facilitate its spread should be shuttered and shut down platforms. Okay, hang on. In our schools, parental authority over children's education is a simple one. Yes, you should have authority over your children's education. They should not have to listen to religious bullshit if you don't want them to, or they should if you want them to, of course. So it's school choice. Anything else there? I'm missing something else. Yes, they need to get rid of that critical race theory shit and I don't know what they call gender ideology. To me, if you want to talk about gender in school, say, if you want, I have no problem with them teaching if people want to be gay, bi, lesbian, whatever the fuck. But, teaching it that you should get shots or sex change, and of course, fucking no. But of course, that's the propaganda, the division they bring amongst us. Okay, I'm trying to find one other thing here. Overturning Roe v. Wade decision after 5 decades. Praise God, they overturned Roe v. Wade. The next conservative administration should push as hard as possible to protect the unborn in every jurisdiction in America, thus no abortions. In particular, the next conservative president should work with Congress to enact the most robust protections for the unborn that Congress will support while deploying existing federal powers to protect. I thought you wanted to get rid of federal powers and return it to the people, to the home, to the family, while protect innocent life and vigorously complying with statutory bans and the federal funding. Of course, there should be no federal funding in anything, because that's just bribery. Pause here. Here it was. It has failed to get the whole screenshot, the bottom paragraph. This resolve should color each of our policies, consider our approach to big tech. The worst of these companies prey on children like drug dealers to get them addicted to their mobile apps. Many Silicon Valley executives famously don't let their own kids use smartphones. They nevertheless make millions of dollars addicting other people's children to theirs. TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and other social media platforms are specifically designed to create the digital dependencies that fuel mental illness and anxiety to fray children's bonds with their parents and siblings. Federal policy cannot allow this industrial scale child abuse to continue. So they're using your child. There's the Trump side of this, the Republicans are supposed to be against censorship, but if Trump's in on this 100%, I don't care what any Trump retard that pops by here, New World Order people, they want to censor all these people, shut all this down in the name of the children. And what happens when you shut this down? Look at the information we will lose if they shut all this down or even censor it more. Oh, that's my next door neighbor downstairs. But anyway, I'm going to end this here, and you get it, and see you later. Bye.